All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Windows 10. As some of you have probably already noticed on your computers, Microsoft did this really cool advertising campaign with their updates that you'll get little notifications to upgrade to Windows 10. Back in July, August, they started that where you could upgrade for free if you had Windows 7 or 8. Honestly, those of you who have Windows 8 probably understand why. It's sort of a let's sweep it under the rug as fast as we can. So Windows 10 is actually pretty cool. If you have Windows 7, though, I'd kind of be a little more on the fence. Windows 7 was a lot more stable than Windows 8. Windows 8 with the whole tablet thing didn't really work. Windows 10 kind of merges the two, and Windows 10 comes out nice. So as I'm going to talk a little bit about Windows 10, I'm kind of on the fence myself. I'm going to talk a little bit about at home and in the library, because those are a little more things we have to be careful of. But Windows 10, the biggest thing is, oh my gosh, the start menu, because in Windows 8, that's the thing they kind of probably did the worst, is that in-out desktop mode. What's really nice is the live tiles, everything you had in Windows 8, they kept, but they moved it into an actual start menu. And this is very customizable. You can change the size, you can resize icons. It has live tiles like you had before. Pretty cool. That's actually usable to me, not like Windows 8. Some of the things they did, much like with Windows 8, is you kind of have settings and control panel. And so some of your computer settings are kind of split between the two. Some things are under control panel like we're used to, and some things are under settings. One of the key things I'm going to talk about, what I don't like about Windows 10, is updates. Windows 10 Home, I'm going to stress that word home, the home version, you don't have the option to turn off Windows updates. They're going to come down. And for most purposes, that's great. We want that. You know, for my mom, yay. My mom doesn't have to worry about updates because she doesn't even know what they really are anyway. So, but one of the things that's kind of scary that I found, but is kind of a cool idea, is if you go into Windows updates and look advanced, you can actually, I would also set it to notify to restart, because otherwise it's going to reboot when it wants to. But this is the one I want to talk about the most. Choose how our updates are delivered. With Windows 10, they created a peer-to-peer network. What this means is as your computer downloads those update files from Microsoft, it then keeps them and shares them back out into the internet for other people to download, so it's faster to get Windows updates. Cool idea. But you're also going to eat up bandwidth on your computer sharing out those files. And let's be honest, a peer-to-peer, other computers touching your computer to download files, that's just knowing Microsoft's battle with security. We know that that is not an if, but a when. Someone's going to take advantage of that. But there's an option to turn it off, much like I turn it off right there. If you do turn it on, you do have the option to limit it to only computers on your network. Kind of cool. Still way scary, because eventually one of them is going to get affected with something that's going to take advantage of this. Or you can just turn it off. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about in the library as you start to see these updates. We're not, as much as I love Windows 10, and don't get me wrong, I do like it at home. It's pretty nice. We're not quite ready in the library world. And the reason why is we've checked with Flores, for those of you who have Flores, and while they say they haven't seen an issue, they don't also support it. Those are different things. Those are not the same thing. And we've seen similar conversations with deep freeze. Nothing official has come out that they're going to support it. I played a little bit around with it with Citrix and Horizon. I haven't really seen anything. So staff-wise, I don't think we're really going to have an issue going forward. But if you are a PC support site, or even if you're not, and you are considering doing this for your staff computers, please check with us. Because while we haven't seen an issue yet, we're not quite there yet. So it is something we're going to keep our eye open. I'd say we'll probably, in the January timeframe, we'll reevaluate our stance with Windows 10 and support. Sort of right now, it's sort of, if you really want to go for it, go for it. But we may or not be able to help you. So, questions? Jake?
So, I know Horizon plays best when you open up an Internet Explorer. Does Edge do a good job with that?
No, it doesn't. But They did not take Internet Explorer away from Windows 10. They did not. The problem with Edge, and you bring up a good point, is Edge kind of is this mobile-ish kind of browser, and it doesn't have all the kind of granular settings we do to make Citrix run well. But Internet Explorer is not gone. Answer your question?
Yeah.
Well, and again,
I was kind of celebrating his death here.
well, let me rephrase that. I have not played with Edge enough really to give you an answer. It may, and I just haven't found all the little tweaks and stuff. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet. But Internet Explorer is still there. Any other questions? Good question for Mary. What is Edge? Microsoft, let's talk about names, because that's what the game Microsoft is playing. They jumped Windows 9, and they went right to Windows 10 because they kind of want to get out of the rotation. Windows 10 they're advertising as their last operating system, because from now on they're just going to create releases and updates for Windows 10. Again, the releases are still there, and based on your hardware, you may or may not be able to update. They're doing the same thing with Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer has gotten such a bad rap because it is so secure, and they've had so much luck with it, that they actually rebranded it, and they made another browser called Edge to try and get away from all the connotations that go with Internet Explorer. Now, if you're like me and you've worked with Windows for a few years, you may kind of go, neat idea, I don't trust you, but that's a cool idea. So that's what Edge is.
Well, what's the cost if you update?
An excellent question. Like I said, if you have Windows 7 or Windows 8, they're offering Windows 10 upgrades for free.
And no catches.
And no catches, other than if you have hardware issues or anything, there is a way to roll it back. But there is no catches, but again, you be careful.
A little icon down here that says, and you click on it, and you say, yeah, you update.
Yep.
You always think there's a catch. You know.
Well, here's the catch. They want you to use it because they want to get there. Again, the whole point of this is they're trying to get Windows 8 out of the way. And like I said earlier, even if you have Windows 7 extended end of life is not till 2020. So do not feel the need to jump off Windows 7. If you're on Windows 8, again, because of the usability of Windows 8, I'd encourage you at home to rethink Windows 10. Rick?
For those of you that still have XP, you do have a lot.
Yes, you do.
It's only a free upgrade if you have Windows 7 or 8.
Tyler?
Is there a window on how long will be a free upgrade?
Tyler asks, is there a window for how long? Yes. The window will end in July or August of next year, so 2016, kind of that July-August timeframe. So if you do want to update, keep that in mind. The other thing I would warn you is Windows 10, much like every other Microsoft system, it's a new operating system. And as we know with any Microsoft new operating system, it's less than stable, typically. Although this one, I gotta be honest, is pretty decent. But I understand this is running a lot better after I spent hours reading blogs and tweaked a lot of it. So keep that in mind. And if at home, again, I'm gonna stress this, if you have Windows 8 and you're unhappy, I'd say yes. In the library, wait, we're gonna reevaluate that kind of into January, make sure we're kind of waiting on other companies like Pharos and Deep Freeze and verify our Citrix before we're going to say we support it. And again, if you're on Windows 7, I even really ask yourself if you even want to. Other questions? That's it? Going once? Going twice? This is Windows 7, and I love and both hate it. So, thank you.